to all the viewers. Today we have a very special episode on Thoughts on Education. And today we are joined with not one, not two, but around 5 people from BIMTECH who would be giving us their insight. And first and foremost, Collegedunia, privileged and honored to have them on our platform giving their thoughts and views on education and the recent situation that is. So we have with us Mr. Chanchal Kushwaha, Chairperson Admissions. Very welcome to you. Very warm welcome to you, sir. Dr. Chaturvedi, the Director of BIMTECH. Dr. Varma, Deputy Director, Dean Academics. Dr. Arora, Registrar and Professor of Finance. And Dr. Sahay, Dean Research and Professor Strategy Areas. A very warm welcome to all of you. And yet again, it's a privilege and an honor for us to have this entire panel with us. And it is very overwhelming for me as a host of this entire thing to have so much of bright minds and the best leaders that we can imagine. So I shall start off this entire interview with a question on recent light on the situation that is going on. The entire world is facing the pandemic, and the pandemic has unfolded the system and strategic shortfall of most Indian education regulatory agencies. Where do you think the problem lies?
So, let me first of all make this point that what was the reason that I have called my colleagues. 5 of them, one is young person heading admission and 4 are very senior colleagues who are professors and taking academic as well as administrative responsibilities. Chanchal Kushwaha is also a faculty and he is also teaching as well as heading Chairperson the admission department. Why did I do it? The reason is that BIMTECH is not like many colleges or business schools where the faculty's role is limited. Only the director and the chairman of the board, usually they are the faces for the media as well as to the world. Here I would like to make that we have a concept of collective leadership. Our team is very strong and we have a very good mix of practicing professors and academic professors. So out of 5 colleagues who are with me, 4 colleagues, who are with me, all of them have joined academics after devoting a lot of time in the industry. Secondly, your question, I would like to say that the whole world is suffering. So academic institutions like universities and colleges, they are bearing the brunt. And in academic institutions, most affected are students, then teachers, then of course the management, because management has to take responsibility of running institutions. So here in India, from March 16 onwards, I am speaking not only as the director of BIMTECH, I am also speaking sometime as an industry representative. I am representing a national body of private sector universities and colleges, 300 universities, 5,000 colleges, which is named as Education Promotion Society for India. BIMTECH has been one of its founders, and this body started in 2005, and it represents to the government and regulatory bodies time to time the problems and challenges being faced by universities and colleges, mostly from private sector. So this is the preamble, and the issue you have raised, I would like to say that COVID has not spared anybody. Be it the president of USA or prime minister of Brazil or India or the policymakers or the economists or the teachers or students, common men, industry owners, I have never found that any segment of society is not being adversely affected, facing problems. So in higher education, I can say with all my experience of last 6 months that everybody is struggling. Policymakers are struggling how to open universities and campuses. Government is embarrassed not being able to open schools and colleges. Continuously, dates are being extended, and millions of parents are worried that what will be the future of their wards, their children. They are worried about the impact of online education. Students are frustrated, particularly young people, because we belong to higher education. I can say that young people want to enjoy their community life with their peer group. They want to stay in their campuses because these are the times they form their community, their friends, and they also form their opinion about their future life. So I think students are facing a big challenge, and it is being said that millions of students around the world are suffering from mental problems. So I would like to say that in India too, university and college students, they are not only facing the arduous task of taking lesson online, but they are also suffering from lack of campus life, and which is not giving them, which is depriving them from the golden times of their life. So in nutshell, I would like to say that all stakeholders of higher education, they are suffering, they are feeling pain, or they are unable to take the decision or unable to reimagine the future after COVID-19. So this is the situation. The society is rudderless, and our leaders are unable to take a right kind of direction. They are waiting.
On that note, this question actually goes out to the entire panel. What is the vision of BIMTECH to deal with this problem that is there in the education system that we are facing?
Let me begin. The vision of BIMTECH is that time being, we have to follow the global practice of online education, but definitely we would like to wait for the normal times, and we will follow the blended learning mode because the leaders around the world in education, they are talking about that 100% offline is a bygone era, and there is not likelihood that the 100% face-to-face or physical classroom teaching will be the reality. And online learning has got the biggest momentum, and EdTech industry is one of the most beneficiary, like Collegedunia also. I have been listening about the data about your exponential expansion during last 6 months or so. So I think the future vision is that come what may, the world has changed, and no more possible that we can follow the old model, traditional model, because we are a residential B school. So we have been providing 24/7 learning environment. Now, we may be possible that after 6 months or 1 year, we find students in the campuses, but definitely the mode of learning will be different. Instead of classroom face-to-face learning, it will be blended, a mix of online as well as face-to-face learning. If my friends would like to say something about it, Dr. Sahay or Professor Varma, you're most welcome.
Varma sir, your mic is muted.
Mic is muted.
Yeah, now it is okay.
I actually don't have to add anything on what Dr. Chaturvedi has already mentioned, because presently the times have changed. We have from the physical mode, we have come to online mode, and that online mode continues perhaps for another couple of months, or maybe less, or maybe more, depending upon the situation that would arise. But definitely, it is not going to be a permanent thing. It is going to be a blended mode. We have, as Dr. Chaturvedi has mentioned, we have all the facilities, and we are actually looking forward to our students coming over. And we have feelers from these students; they want to come over actually, but because of the situation, we are not able to, kind of have the face-to-face classes. We are allowing them to come. Whoever wants to come, we have the facilities available, and they are coming by and by. Some students are coming. So in the medium term, I would say the blended kind of learning would start. We will have both kinds of the online and the offline classes, which would go on.
If I could add, you had asked for vision. So our vision is very clear to make it a preferred choice for students, faculty, and recruiters. COVID has impacted, but even in these COVID days, we have not lost that. And both internally and externally, we have made the campus very much COVID compliant, like anybody, all the students, any visitor, they are coming. We follow all protocol right from our entry gate, their temperature recording, sanitizing, XYZ, all classrooms, every lab, computer center, all are very well sanitized, very well taken care of. And as our director and deputy director said, that students are coming. Some students express their desire to come and remain in hostel, so they are there. It's not that we are totally avoiding, but yes, we are looking the best interest of the students, their parents, and we are geared up to face this COVID situation, whichever way, online, hybrid, blended, and all faculty has been trained, they are delivering, and I'm sure all of them would be, but yes, there is a difference between face-to-face classroom and blended classroom. In some aspects, I'm finding, for example, I'm doing the doctoral courses, I find that the platform is much better for discussion because everybody else keeps, as you have muted yourself, so the discussion goes very fine. But when it comes to cross-talks and all that, that is missing. But then it has got both plus and minus points. But the main thing is that we are totally compliant and we are ready to face this situation. No doubt it has affected as anybody else who asks.
I will just supplement our director, deputy director, and dean research, Professor Sahay. Actually, in spite of COVID-19, BIMTECH is poised for continuous progress in rankings, accreditations. We have national accreditation from National Board of Accreditation, NAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council. This is for the highest order, this ranking. And we are very near to the stage of international accreditation from AACSB, that is a US-based accreditation agency. And the peer review team is visiting us in March 2021, and we are hopeful that good results will be there. That's all I wanted to add.
I mean, knowing all of this, thank you so much for your views. Knowing all of this, we get a clear picture that BIMTECH has fully adapted towards this pandemic and it's adjusting to all the challenges that pandemic is actually throwing up. On that note, being the chairperson of admissions, Mr. Kushwaha, knowing that BIMTECH is fully adapted towards this new change in the industry and demand of the situation as it is, how eager and how eager these students are to pursue their career in MBA and management?
Okay, see, so the challenges are going to be there because till last year, the number of students, those who have already joined us, they were not aware of that this unprecedented situation is going to be there. So when the lockdown 1 happened, we were under impression that it will be over within a month or maybe 40-45 days. But then it lasted for 100 days. So the students were well aware of, they already took the decision that they want to do MBA. They applied and half of the process was already done. So they were eager to join the institute. They were under the decision-making mode. But since post-pandemic, or you can say in this present time after March, the student, those who are going to plan for MBA, they have got you can say well thought decision, and they have got the testimonials that how any institute is dealing with this particular situation. So how institute is imparting teaching and learning, how that same experience is given to these students, those who are there in the second year, they are going to be placed, or maybe the first year student, those who are taking up classes. So how that experience is taken care of, even if they are not there on campus. So if we are able to showcase that that these students are going to have same delivery, same experience, the same you can say the experience which they get within the class or maybe on campus, though it is not going to match up 100%, but we are trying to compliance with you can say the situation which COVID has given us, and the students are going to have the same teaching learning experience even if they are not on campus. So the classes are going to be there, the assessment, evaluation, assignment, projects, everything is going to be in the same way as they would have got when they are there on campus. So if we are able to showcase that to the world, that to the prospective, or you can say the MBA aspirants, then I think we would be one of the best choice for them to opt for MBA. And then since admissions are going to be there, everything is going to be online. So we have planned in such a way that whatever offline activities we were doing a year before, we are going to use all online channels, interacting with the prospective students, be it in different cities or maybe the complete admission process which we used to conduct. It is going to be online. The interview processes are going to be online. The interaction, engagement, everything is going to be online.
The next question is on that line, because we understand that this is a concern that students are expressing, and they're trying to decide their career path in this turbulent time. So this next question on that line itself is to Dr. Chaturvedi. There is no such concrete place as such where I can say there are concerns which are present, but we can address them if we can over here, because these viewers or students would want to know. So there are concerns that online education in an MBA program may not achieve the optimal learning results. Like in a general nutshell, like how in your opinion can universities and institutions build a blended course delivery model?
Here, I would like to make a point that there are opportunities in adversity. So, COVID is a biggest adversity for the last 100 years, but there is an opportunity, and that opportunity is that in the post-COVID world, every student will have to work from not only from home, WFH, when they join the corporate sector. Not only they will be required to work from home, because major IT companies and big companies, they are saying that WFH will not go. And I would say that WFH will transform into work from everywhere. WFE, you are traveling, you are with laptop, you are working. You are at a sea beach, you have gone for vacation, your laptop is with you, you are working. So I think students, when they are given online lessons, they are being taught by online method during this pandemic time. This is a big lesson, of course, during the adversity, but it is an opportunity how independently you can work in your future life. Your boss will not be with you, your subordinates will not, your peer group will not be with you, and they will be at various places in the world. So you have to learn how to work independently. It does not mean that they cannot be corrected. You will be connected, but many times it is not necessary that you will have connectivity with them. You have to take decisions and you have to deliver to the company. So there is opportunity in the adversity that our students should learn, because in India, they have been dependent on parents. They have been dependent on tutor. They have been dependent on their teachers. They have been dependent on so many things, and they are not similar to the youth of US or Europe. They leave their parents at the age of 17 or 18, and they start their life. They live separately from their parents. But in India, till they complete their MA or MBA and their parents come for convocation, they are always dependent for everything, their emotional need, financial need, decision making. They are dependent on their parents. So there are opportunities in adversity, and we are giving this lesson to our students that, look, you are suffering a lot, but these tough times will give you a lesson which you might have not received during normal times.
Anyone else on that matter? Because there's any generalized idea with the nutshell how universities or institutions should have build a blended course delivery module?
Actually, there are limitations with the online classes. So the face-to-face classes has distinct advantages. And now, because online learning is happening, so we have some advantages also. So blended learning mode is a good future model of higher education. So this gives some strength to the face-to-face classes, and also helps face-to-face classes to take some time, off or spare for online learning. It leverages technology to provide more personalized approach to learning. It gives students control over the time, pace, place, path, right, of their learning. They can have, and moreover, this can deliver more than one style of learning. So I see that more and more adoption of blended mode will happen in times to come in universities and B schools. And it has been found to enhance engagement, communication, peer support, and enhanced retention also. Because students can have learning at their pace, in their own way, whenever they feel like. So that will be additional advantage of blended learning.
In fact, we have done, even when COVID was not there, some of our colleagues and even I have used blended learning. And we found the students more engaged because you get much more time. I was teaching a course of intellectual property rights, and we did the full course through blended learning, where the pre-recorded things were sent to the students. And today students' attention is very less. So they love to listen, to see the video and all. And when they came to the class, the full time was available for discussion. So that way, it is more enjoyment, more learning. And blended learning is a thing which has come here to stay. It was even pre-COVID event.
I just want to add one more dimension to this, and that is, you see, we prior to this COVID thing, we knew mostly about the physical classes, physical teaching, student mingling with each other, and all those kinds of advantages that come with the physical kind of environment. With this COVID thing, now we are learning, in a very deeper way, the advantages and disadvantages of online education. Now, when we become expert in both, when we have both together, we can take the best of the both worlds, and that is how actually we are planning. We have had a discussion amongst our faculty members where we discussed as to when we start on this blended thing. When some of these students are here and some of these students are not there, and we start on the physical mode as well, how would we do it? So the best of both the systems we would be able to kind of provide to the students. So that is one great advantage of this blended way of learning that we are probably going to have in near future.
Thank you so much for your views. On that entire note, we are getting very deep into the COVID situation. We're trying to understand how institutions and everything other places are coping up with it. But if I can go a little more specific towards BIMTECH as an education institute, like I would want to know, like, how does BIMTECH Greater Noida help the students to discover the potential and success in today's global business scenario?
Can you elaborate your question a little bit? You are not audible.
How BIMTECH, it is basically, if I can, narrow it down, how BIMTECH supports students and gives the best curriculum so that they discover the potential and, succeed in today's global scenario.
Yeah. So during last 6 months, since we were not busy with the classroom teaching and so many administrative tasks, mostly we were focusing on how to cope up with the evolving situation and how to shift from physical face-to-face teaching to online teaching. We have done a lot of introspection about the future of business education as well as the future of our institute. So, first of all, as a matured institution having a legacy of 32 years, we have taken decisions how to manage the crisis. So, first priority was given to manage the crisis, create infrastructure, create a safety mechanism, and COVID compliance system in the campus. So we have prepared the blueprint for next 1 year. This was the first and foremost task. But secondly, we have also thought that the pre-COVID, we have been running business education in traditional mode, and although technology was being used, we were updating our curriculum every second year, and we were having interaction with the industry advisory committee of our institute. We were doing all these things, but during last 6 months of COVID times, we have held deep discussions in long meetings, and we have thought about the future of business education in the world and future of BIMTECH in it. And we have realized that the whole world has changed, the workplace has changed, economy is radically changed. It is down by in all the countries, and recently in India it has been in the quarter, one of the quarter it dipped by 24%. So we have given all these deep thoughts and started discussing that how the future will look for our institute in the galaxy of 15,000 B schools in the world. Ultimately, we have identified some of the trends which are not very clear, but at least we have got indication by interacting with our partners around the world and by connecting with international bodies. In management education, as you know, there are 3 international bodies, out of which 2 are very prominent. The first one is ASESB, which is from USA, and second is European Foundation for Management Development, and third is EMBA UK. So with first 2 bodies, we have held series of discussion online on Zoom. And because ASESB we are working for 5 years, EFMD we are working for last 3 years. And we have engaged EFMD to do a research in what way BIMTECH is impacting society, regional economy, and how it is helping the neighborhood communities. And a report was prepared by European Foundation, which is called BSIS report. It was first time in India, and it was well appreciated by the B schools, not only in India but outside also. So we are now focusing more and more about the future, and in our monthly strategic management committee meeting, we have identified some of the areas. One prominent area is Industry 4.0. So in future, next next 5 years, we have to work very hard to revise our curriculum and pedagogy in view of the requirement of Industry 4.0, which is a concept fastly emerging, and disruptive technologies are forcing big and small industries that they should work according to the norms of Industry 4.0. So in future, our focus will be on Industry 4.0.
On that note itself, basically, we are seeing a lot of changes in the industry. We are seeing a lot of in demand, like as you mentioned, the growth of Collegedunia itself was shown during the pandemic times because of the demand of digital means. So in that entire area, we see when we talk about things, settling down, when the pandemic ceases out, when everything's normal, what are the specializations in MBA which would be in demand? Like, will there be a shift in from niche to regular specialization, or it will be towards niche mostly?
I would like to share with you that during the COVID times, we have taken one strategic move that along with the regular courses in management, we are offering 5 programs, 4 PGDM programs and 1 executive fellow program that is equivalent to PhD. We have taken a decision that we should also fastly shift towards online education. So we have formed a center for online education. A professor who has vast experience in information technology and online education. He is heading that center. In our institute, departments are called center. Whatever academic work or administrative work we do. So the center has been formed. A studio is being built. We have partnered with Upgrade, one of the upcoming EdTech company, to offer a 2 years online MBA program for those who are working in the industry. So not only we are, our institute will continue to groom the full-time students. There is a huge market for continuing education, because the Industry 4.0 also asking that your students, when they do MBA from your B school, they will require updating or upskilling every 3rd or 4th year. So far, after doing MBA from BIMTECH or IMT or from IIMs, people used to depend upon the knowledge gained in the B school for 20 or 25 years. Now, it is being predicted that every 3rd year, the skill sets will be changed because of the disruptive technology, artificial intelligence, 3D, Internet of Things, deep learning, etc. So, every 3rd or 4th year, alumni will come back to these schools. So, if BIMTECH is providing continuing education by online method, not only to its alumni, but all other young people working in the industry, those who want to update their knowledge year by year basis, I think online education will be the big medium. So we are moving in that direction. We are moving in the direction of Industry 4.0. Our curriculum will be revamped within next 1 or 2 years drastically in the requirement of Industry 4.0. And we are looking into the issue of diversity inside the classroom and inclusion in the society. These are the 2 critical components we have been and BSIS report has highlighted our achievements, and at international level, both AACSB and EFMD are talking that a B school should not only prepare the future generation of leaders, business leaders, but it should also lay emphasis on diversity inside the classroom, diversity in the industry, and also inclusion in society.
If I can just supplement what Dr. Chaturvedi has said, and to your specific question also about whether the niche specializations will come up post-COVID, or the regular specializations that happen now will continue. You see, my own view is that the niche specializations are going to be, more important because the industry is going to require them. And having considered that, and we have discussed that in great detail, and therefore, apart from the regular specializations like finance and marketing and operations and HR and like that, we have also, moved into verticals like analytics, BFSI, IT, ITES, and other niche specializations like healthcare and e-commerce. These things are also going to take their place and become important because the industry is going to require them. So that it probably is going to be the scenario.
Yes, Doctor Arora, this is in mute. Your microphone is in mute.
Your phone is.
I foresee one more trend. What is that? That combo specialization will be in demand, like finance with fintech, right? Marketing and finance with business analytics, right? Finance and consulting. So we are moving in that direction. Already we have restructured our courses, our programs, and we are going for the dual specialization sort of thing. And I also feel that engineers with MBA education will be more demanded to understand the tech and tech-aided processes of manufacturing and services. So I feel that engineers will be in more demand who know about technology.
Apart from Industry 4.0, another area which is becoming or which has already become very important is the rural development, the agriculture sector, the social enterprises. And we already have developed, and there are people who are doing on social enterprises, for example, social entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is already a local area. We have got an Atal Incubation Center here. So that's another area. Industry 4.0 is one side where you are talking of technology, but even in these areas, and the Kisan, as you know, today is the focus, even there and rural part, we require a lot of technology. So those type of courses also are.
Mr. Kushwaha, anything you want to add on this question?
See, what I can substantiate to this is, since we have seen the trend that in MBA education, the number of prospective students, those who are applying for MBA, the number of engineers are going down. So most of the B schools or even IIMs, they are looking for students coming from diverse background in degree, like even students from humanities or commerce background. In fact, they are the toppers in the CAT exam or ZAT exam. So the future workforce foundation, and accordingly those courses are going to be offered, which is needed by the industry. So that is one small submission which I can make, that we have to look for diverse background of the student, and these students should be given, because even in the school education, in K-12 education, apart from the conventional courses, schools are, or CBSE is offering courses which is skill-based courses. They have introduced financial management, marketing management courses, or AI course, or business communication course. So the future generation which is going to come up for the higher education, they will be coming up with a background where they are not just science student or arts students or commerce student. There would be a student who has done economics with, say, statistic or political science, or somebody who has done English literature might have done a course in AI. So that is the generation which we are going to cater for higher education, and that is what is required by the future industry also. So the courses are not going to be just specific to the stream, but they are going to be generic, which can be taken up by the student, those who are coming from multidisciplinary background. So that is going to be the demand from the industry also. They are not just looking for engineers; they would be looking for people coming from diverse backgrounds.
So here, Indradil, I would like to add one important development, that is this announcement of National Education Policy 2020, and it has taken a very firm stand that affiliation system will go within next 15 years. So all MBA institute will be disaffiliated, and all institutions will have the degree conferring rights. So BIMTECH will also have will be the first two institutions in management education, along with XLRI, because we have been declared by AICTE in the month of February the category 1 graded autonomous institution. So we have got category 1 graded autonomy, and in the policy it has been said that the all institutions which are having the graded autonomy, they will be granted degree conferring rights. So there will be PGDM institutions will and MBA colleges affiliated to a university, they will become independent from the universities, and they will have the degree conferring right if they have the requisite quality mark announced by the National Education Policy. Secondly, all stand-alone colleges, which includes PGDM institutions also, like dental college, stand-alone, only dental science, an engineering college, single discipline, management institute, single discipline. So National Education Policy says that all colleges will have to become, instead of single discipline, to multiple discipline. It means that government will force all standalone institutions to add another faculty to make it multidisciplinary. So these schools, we have organized, EPSI has organized last month on 29th of August a national level seminar on these two issues, multidisciplinarity and degree conferring rights. So BIMTECH will definitely get advantage of becoming the first two B school in having degree conferring right, and we will also add another faculty, most likely law or liberal arts, so that we will become multidisciplinary B school.
And that is something I believe the students would look forward to, having colleges so ready for the entire changes, and also along the lines of the new education policy as it is. With the entire idea of this entire panel having a discussion, I would actually say this, that it's very overwhelming for me to have such stalwarts of education industry in one panel altogether. So I would personally again want to thank you for giving us having us this privilege of having your profound thoughts, broadcasted on a platform. At the same time, as we are, towards the end of our interview, I wouldn't call it an interview anymore. I would say it's a discussion. So, end of our discussion, I would want all of you to part few words of wisdom to this current youth that is actually entering the tough job market, knowing that with the economic slowdown, passing batch will be entering this tough job market. So, any advice for these students who are going to face the situation?
Let me start first. I will advise my students that they should prepare themselves for the future skill requirement, means along with their studies at BIMTECH, and of course the institute will help them, they should also develop some skills which will be required in future. And we have introduced Coursera courses, 2,400 courses have been done by our students, second year students, during April, May, June summer internship. Second advice I will give them, that they should make themselves ready to face all kinds of tough situations in life, because life is not a straight line. Life is not a straight line, it is zigzag, ups and downs. Secondly, life is not like a sprint of 100 meters, it is a marathon. So prepare yourself for the marathon, not only for a sprint. So marathon is 24 kilometers. So their career span will be almost 25 to 30 years, because this generation will not work beyond 45 or 50 years. So at least for 25 years, they should prepare themselves. Prepare for marathon, not for sprint, is my advice. Over to my other colleagues. Dr. Varma.
Yeah, sir. I think very appropriately said. I was also thinking about developing skills to be able to face any kind of situation. It is very necessary. And BIMTECH is very alive to this requirement. We opened various kinds of Coursera and other courses to the students during the pandemic, free of cost. And they were advised to take up these courses. In fact, we made it compulsory for them to take at least 3 courses, for which BIMTECH will pay. No? And they did. So we wanted them to develop their skills. And the other thing is, you see, there is no substitute to hard work, no substitute to honesty. And if they do that and be aware of whatever is happening around them, they are bound to succeed. Situations change, but both ways, good and bad. They should equip themselves to be able to face any kind of situation. Thank you.
Professor Arora.
So actually, students are very well aware that economic slowdown is there and the placement will be impacted. The hiring will not be on the scale of last year. But I can tell them that companies have shown interest in hiring when contacted by our Center for Corporate Relations. Advice to them is that stay positive, stay focused, work hard, acquire some additional niche area skills required for the businesses. It may take longer, but all will be placed in time to come.
I would advise them that be a lifetime learner, be always child, be always inquisitive like a child. It's the learnability that matters, not what you have learned. So your learnability quotient go on increasing, and that is what will give you good jobs, will give you promotions, will give you success. So learnability should be your lifelong goal.
So, sir, like apart from what my seniors have said, and I am taking a cue from what directors have said earlier, see, in spite of getting a lot of learning, the subject knowledge and the niche area skill development, I think the present demand is that we should learn how to work collaboratively, remotely. So that is because these pandemic times are not going to change. Even if it is changing, the work culture has already changed. There have been IT industry which have been working remotely. People are working even sitting at their home or maybe on the move. But then the other industries have also changed. So one should have those technical skills. And besides that, you should have a skill to communicate with your colleagues even when you are working remotely. So those collaborative technologies we should learn, and how to use those technology and how to communicate effectively with your upline or downline. I think that is one of the advice.
I mean, thank you. I'm actually uplifted by your words. It's very profound. And I actually think, everyone out there, all the viewers out there, I know it's a situation where we're confused, we're uncertain. But with such, I have said it again, with such great leaders to believe and to place our trust in and have our faith in, we have nothing to fear. So if you want to know more about BIMTECH, please visit the website. And you can go and check out in Collegedunia's microsite as well. There are additional information in all the different tabs. For yet again, thank each and every one of you for viewing this video. And I also, sir, thank you for joining us for the discussion. Every one of you, it is a pleasure of mine, and of course, an honor to have been a part of this discussion. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Indrabil. Thank you, Vishwajit. Thank you, Collegedunia. We are also very happy and delighted that it was a very thoughtful discussion, and you have put very tough questions, challenging questions. Collectively, could try to respond for being alone, it would have been difficult for me because you have done a lot of homework, I think. And I think every journalist from education media, they should ask these kind of questions. So instead of asking very general kind of questions, these questions were really very relevant. And I hope that this interview will be delightful for your viewers. And once again, thanks to Collegedunia.